to the candidates. Each team is going to go, and between each team getting their platform, we're going to play a game. So feel free to root on your team and cheer them on. And at the end, we're going to be handing out a straw poll. So fill that out for whichever team you're supporting, and we'll count those and let you guys know the results. There's refreshments in the back, so if you want to grab those, there's soda, cookies, chips.
Right, so before we let our candidates talk about their platforms and introduce themselves, we asked them to give us some information about themselves. So we're going to start introducing the candidates. So first we have Team 1 all the way at the end. We have James Kale and Jose Altamari. Class of 2016, and he's double majoring in applied psychology, human development, and sociology on a pre-law track, minoring in African American historical studies. He is originally from the Boogie Down Bronx of the city of After BC, James is in hopes of going to law school where he wishes to not only to attain his Juris Doctorate, but Masters in Education Policy and Masters in Business Administration. His ultimate career goals are to work in education through policy and reform and corporate law, as well as owning his own enterprise. When he retires from working in education reform, other than running his enterprise, he wants to take the throne from Roger Ebert, the #1 movie critic, for those who do not know who that is. He is also a part-time world traveler, a locally renowned dancer, and trilingual. That's James Hill. His running mate is Jose Altamari, and Jose is a sociology major with an African and American diaspora minor on the pre-law track. He reigns through the gracious lands of Providence, Rhode Island.
Yes!
And he included the fun fact that the state's been into Texas 257 times. Jose is a part-time dancer, full-time hugger. Jose is an avid gym enthusiast, even though his stature would say otherwise. So he says. After graduation, Jose wants to go to law school and earn his JD and his MBA. He initially wants to work as a corporate lawyer and then eventually work in education reform. He wants to get married by the time he's 32, and his free-time aspirations are to roam the rivers of Nairobi, scuba dive with Nemo, the clownfish, and run a segment in the Great Wall, high-five a penguin, and restore a 1967 Shelby Mustang in Illinois.
And Michael Keith. Applied psychology and human development major in the Lynch School of Education. She's from Orinda, California. She is part of focusing on mental health initiatives, particularly. She was also a founding member and president to Write Love on Her Arms, which is an organization dedicated to presenting hope and finding help for people struggling with addiction, depression, self-injury, and suicide. Michael Keith. Mike is a junior economics and political science double major from UGBC Student Assembly sophomore year, as well as an ex-officio member of the Executive Council. During his time in BC, Mike has also participated in the Freshman League, Peer Health Exchange, and the Leader Shape program.
So the third team is here tonight is Thomas Napoli.
Yeah!
He hails from Glenridge, New Jersey. He currently serves on the Senate Committee Chair in the Student Assembly, is the Chair of the Student Rights Commission, and Spaceless Council member. He enjoys water skiing and drill steak, loves long pauses in between sentences, and thrives in awkward silence, and never says no to a philosophical debate. His running mate is Olivia Hussey. Olivia is a sophomore in Arts and Sciences, studying history with an IS minor in gender and ethics. She is originally from Kennebunk, Maine. She currently lives on Coro and Roncalli. She currently is a class of 2017 senator. She's on the campus climate, or she's the campus climate committee chair and volunteers in the Women's Center. She's a self-proclaimed feminist, chocolate lover, and travel junkie. She enjoys taking gassograms in her spare time. So we're asking that when each team delivers their platform, that the other two teams sit on the side just so that they have the advantage of paying attention. So we have Team 1, Team 2.
Yeah.
Greetings and salutations, y'all. So, we break down our platform into 3 major categories, which James will explain.
To build up for something, can you hear me?
Yeah.
To build up something that Nancy started, we want to break it down in 3 different, implementations. And the first one we thought was realistic and attainable. We don't believe in bombastic, promises, false promises. So we have to make sure that students know exactly what we're trying to accomplish and that we can accomplish it in a short period of time, which we can do in the first semester, granted we get this opportunity. Number 2 was realistic and also attainable, but that would take more time so we could get it done within the first and second semester during that tenure. We know these are realistic and these are attainable goals. You will see these next following these proceedings. And also, number 3, which is, it's good and we know it will definitely happen, but it will take more time and hopefully we can help those out in the next leadership that's following us to help them prepare themselves to fulfill our dreams if we can't fulfill those. The number 1 thing we think UGBC should do is make campus resources visible. That is UGBC's, one of their sole promises. That's why they was formed. When they first became an entity on campus, we wanted to make sure that students make sure that they also know where to go for whatever they need. So one of the biggest things, students with disabilities. There's 4 places for students with disabilities to go, but they're not sure exactly where to go. And so that is UGBC's duty to make sure students understand exactly where they need to go to see everything that's on campus. They're supposed to make sure student climate and student life is at its number 1 core.
So to continue off on a level 1 category, we want to reform the student goal pass because let's be honest right now, not everyone wants to go to every game. And the points are kind of messed up. Like, I could be outside of the general area as long as I'm geotagging, I can sign in. So I understand where it might come that you want to build on school pride, but it doesn't necessarily always happen. So by doing this, we try to make it a little more student friendly, kind of revert back to the way we were when those individual tickets. And what do people like? I know I like it.
Also, advocating for gender-neutral bathrooms for the LGBTQ community. We know the law school did it, and there was no issue. So it's more so not changing every bathroom on campus, but those that have single-sex bathrooms that have 1 stall, 1 toilet, we could definitely change those. Like I said, when the law school did it, BC got so much praise around the nation for what they did. Why can't undergrads do it as well? We have the LGBT community on campus, and we know we need to accommodate those. We have the students here, so why not cater to them?
And one more very realistic on the level 1 category is the fact that we want to petition for our meal plan money to work again in Hillside. I like a Chobani yogurt. I'm trying to stay fit. As I mentioned, I'm an avid gym enthusiast, but at the same time, my stature can't say it. And if only I have my Chobani again, but I can't afford that for $175. So yes, petitioning for our meal plans to work once again in Hillside. There's one of those in one category. And moving on. Level 2, again, realistic. We can do this in semester 1 and semester 2 if we were to be elected. It is to provide Charlie cards for the nursing students and the Lynn School students. We understand that for Boston, yeah, I was like, what? Oh, it is. So we understand that for Boston and Pulse have provided Charlie cards to their destinations there and their placements. But every CSUN or nursing student has to go to their clinical, but that's not provided for them. Their Charlie card is not provided. That's from out of pocket. Everyone understands that, like the Lynn School students who do have to do their practicums and have to go to Brighton High, again, they're paying out of pocket, and that's just not fair. We somehow have to engage the student body to be provided for, to be providing Charlie cards for the student body.
Number 2, establishing printers on lower.
Yeah!
I'm pretty sure that the snow days you guys all noticed the struggle trying to get your campus to print out your homework, your readings, anything that you need. Even today, like, we thought about printing some things, we couldn't even make it there, so we just came straight here, and to make sure we were good. But we definitely want to implement printers on lower campus. There's 2 places we're thinking about. Definitely, and maybe Kickoff Commons, known as lower dining hall. And also maybe a vanity, like there's a whole backside over there that we have access to, and it's just empty, in which we can also put printers. Why not do so?
And moving on, we are supposed to be men and women for others. We're supposed to be inspiring the Jesuit ideals into our core curriculum. And I don't really know how y'all feel about that, but I don't think it's really getting accomplished as well as it could be. So we're trying to revamp that core. Just revamp the core. Okay. That's not like. I don't want to have to take things I don't want to.
So adding to that, though, the core curriculum, one of our biggest principles here is educating the whole person. I'm pretty sure though we have liberal arts education, we're not educating the whole person. One thing we really want to look at is a cultural diversity core. We know that a lot of classes which fall under suit for that, AEDS courses, many things of that nature, do not fulfill the core. And also for cultural diversity, many of these classes don't fulfill that or talk about cultural diversity, cultural competency. And we definitely want to explore those realms and get understanding exactly outside the classroom exactly how can we explore these cultures, like a DOR, make things mandatory part of these courses so people can actually discuss these certain topics. There's no discussion taking place technically about these certain realms. We just go to class, we get that credit, we move on with life.
And I just have a question right quick, just get a baseline. How many of y'all out here might be vegetarian or vegans? I'm just gonna pretend I can catch up. It was a lot. But as many of y'all might know, there are not very many vegetarian or vegan options in the dining halls. And that is something we want to address because when it comes to your mental health, your dietary needs are very much in tune with that. So, gotta revamp the vegetarian vegan options.
We want to see more kale, Some people have allergies to certain things. So they're allergic to pineapples. And next thing you know, you see pineapples in grapes, you see that in the cantaloupe. Therefore, you can eat those things for that day. You have to go searching around campus looking for something else. So therefore, we need to make sure like we have a mother segregation or separation of these certain food items just to make sure that students' health is always at its number one with students. How can we focus on mental health if we can't understand our health issues, feeling to make sure that we're pretty good? Another thing we really want to look at is career services. We know that many students here at BC do not use career services. There is a myth going around saying the fact that they only cater to CSUN students. And when we speak to CSUN students, they really don't take care of them either, other than bringing a 4-car on campus, have the whole campus bum rush them, and that's about it. Hopefully someone walks away with a position. We actually we're working with Joe DuPont to make sure that we can revamp Eagle Link to make sure that they actually know the needs of students and what we're looking for with jobs, for our applications, how our profiles look, what we want to do when we graduate from, the heights. We just want to make sure that students are catered to. They don't know what we really want anymore. They just go about their everyday, day-to-day basis, trying to say, oh, let's help the student out if they walk in. We want to make sure that all students here understand what they want to do after they graduate and how to basically get inside the respective fields of discipline.
Another thing we want to address is that we have over 200 clubs on campus, and there's a disconnect in communication occurring out there. We want to enrich and empower one another, and how else are we going to do that if we don't communicate? So something we really want to address is having monthly meetings with every president of every RSO. I mean,
of course, we talk about the political climate on campus, social climate on campus. We need to bring all aspects and corners of the university together to finally fix these things and create a different culture at BC. Most of us don't know each other, a lot of students don't know each other, never seen each other, or the BC look away won't happen if we did this thing. So if we bring different leadership together, we know exactly what's going on with this org, that org, we can attend each other's events, and we can definitely create a new and entire UGBC and entire campus student population on campus.
Now, we already talked about the physical health in terms of the dietary needs, but at the same time, we have to address mental health. And one thing we really want to try is that the university counseling is overwhelmed and understaffed. And we want to hire more people to help with that mental, to help people, to help everyone's mental stability.
We found out that many students who go abroad come back and do terribly academically just because of transition and adjustment coming back to your own school system, your own home school. Though like you may be used to this education system, but you made a big transition going back to going to whatever country you go to for 5 months, maybe plus, and therefore, especially students who come back fall semester, and you go straight into the spring semester, not having any kind of transition, debriefing, and so it's difficult for students. Whereas those who go abroad for spring may get the summer to debrief, get to relax, and transition back to that fall semester. So we definitely want to make sure students are doing okay and making sure that they know exactly how they can definitely pick back up where they left off when they went abroad and come back to campus.
And to end our level 3 category, taxi prices, Uber prices, and Lyft prices are absurdly high, and especially during time to travel. When you're trying to go back home for vacation or any kind of break, we're trying to establish one flat rate for all transportation needs to airports and South Station.
UGBC does sponsor a shuttle there, but we hear the times and may coincide with your flights. You may miss it because it's 2 in the morning. Your flight may be later on. We just want to make sure that everything is cohesive, make sure people can make their flights and actually get that flat rate because we have Uber, Lyft, we have sidecar, we have so many different car options to get there, yet they're all expensive and they're not conducive to student-ran, Boston Beantown, which we all run. They need to help us out, make sure we need to get home and come back here just to make sure we're good. A square for better UGBC.
Yeah.
You guys can hop back in your seats. We're going to do the first game.
Sorry, after this first game, I actually have to leave briefly for about 30 minutes. I'm going to be seeing my first rite as a Catholic in the St. Ignatius Church. So I hope you don't mind, but I'm just trying to progress in my religious identity. I'll be back shortly though, so.
So for our first game, it's one of the popular minute to win it games. And you start with a cookie on your forehead, and then you have to get it down in your mouth and so you can eat it. So what we're going to do is have you can actually choose whether the vice president or president wants to go first. And once it's in the mouth, then the next person can go. So you can cheer on your partner when you're running team.
Normally we want to break up the class 1 classroom, so I want to do one side.
stand for the platforms. We have our winner, James. So now, after that, we're going to have Cassidy and Mike do their speech and talk about their platforms.
Hi everybody, my name is Cassidy Gallegos and I'm so excited to be running for UGBC president. I want to tell you just a little bit about why we decided to run, why I personally decided to run, and how that feeds into what we hope to do as an administration if we win. I was fortunate enough to get to be really involved in something on campus my sophomore year, which was starting to write Love on Her Arms. And that was a passion, that is a passion of mine that I feel really strongly about, which is mental health awareness on campus. And I was fortunate to be able to really spend the majority of my time doing something that I saw was a really important movement, but also allowed me to meet a huge population of our amazing community here that are still some of my best friends now. And I know that that experience is not something that everybody can say they have here at BC, and a big part of what we want to do is make that possible for students at BC. I want every student to be able to be passionate about something and see their efforts pay off in tangible change. And so a lot of the things that we have on our platform, we're not going to detail for you tonight. We'll go over the main categories, but a lot of them have to do with empowering students and working with them to allow everybody to see the change that they want to see happen on campus. So, like I said, mental health is one of the things we care about a lot. We want to increase access to resources. We want to increase awareness events and initiatives that are happening. We also want to focus on the freshman year experience. So, making a larger scale mentorship program that doesn't turn away freshmen, so you don't have to be denied if you apply to look for college advice or advice from an upperclassman. So we want a larger scale mentorship program instituted. We also want to focus on tangible student life issues, so that includes, like James and Jose, printing on lower campus. That's something that has long been promised and we want to follow through with. We also want to address a variety of other things, including...
Yeah, so we want to run the most exciting campaign this campus has ever seen, and our Team Blue's going to do that. And we have a platform for you guys that will be posted online when the time has come to release them, that I encourage everyone in the room and everyone on campus to take a look at, all the platforms. And we want to really focus on mental health, the freshman experience, and tangible student life issues, and a whole host of other things that fall under that. So please check out our platform, check us out on social media, and get ready for a really exciting 10 days. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were gonna have a game. In between, but we're actually gonna have the next team go and then have the game right afterwards, and then we'll conclude the night. So we're gonna have Thomas and Olivia come up now and present their.
Yeah!
So they're gonna start this off the video.
I'm Thomas Nally. And we're running for your UGBC President
And Vice President.
Transparent. Parents. For too long, students have been confused about what UGBC actually does.
If that's you, you're not alone. Over 60% of the students at BC feel like they don't have a voice.
We're going to change that by bringing UGBC back to the core reason it exists.
To serve and advocate for you.
We're going to re-engage this campus with the issues that matter to all of us.
Like creating an environment where we can all be our authentic selves.
Addressing stigmatized issues on campus like race, mental health, and sexual assault.
And doing the simple things like creating a map of the mods.
And when you just can't find 45B.
So if you're ready to bring UGBC back to basics,
Welcome to a new type of student government.
Thank you guys. Is this on? That was awesome. You're like all super loud. We're super excited to be here. I just wanted to thank you all first for coming out tonight. I know is it a snow day tomorrow? Yeah. So thank you. To prepare for this campaign, right on our platform, Olivia and I met with a ton of people. We probably met with like over 100 people in the past couple of days. Weeks, not days. So we collected a couple of our most prominent quotes that we heard from people, and also quotes that came up in our research, to kind of give you a perspective of what's going on at BC's culture. So we're going to start off by reading these quotes. As much as the university provides a service to us, we have to be active participants in our own education. Who we are and how we act at Boston College will determine who we are and how we act for the rest of our lives.
I was called a fag 4 times at freshman orientation. I didn't know how to respond, so I didn't say anything.
My favorite thing about Boston College is Marathon Monday. 6 a.m. wake up, screaming my lungs out as my roommate reaches the top of Heartbreak Hill. Mod 24, this is way more than just a university.
But at the lowest depths of my depression, my seemingly positive attitude became a facade, a mask to hide behind until I could break down behind closed doors.
Protests are the voice of an unheard people. And the simple truth is that some students don't feel a part of this BC family.
The lines and eagles are too damn long!
I would always tell my friends that I bought my football ticket when the truth was I had gotten my ticket from Montserrat. And I hope no one will find out.
All of your academic talk does no good unless paired with feeling and emotion. Without the students, there is no BC. We are BC, and we define who we are.
So those are not our quotes. Those are all our voices. That could be that kid who's on the Newton bus, your roommate, the person down the hallway. Those are the voices of BC. Now, I love Boston College, and I wouldn't be here tonight with all you guys, seeing all your faces. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you, John.
I did absolutely love this university. I think the reason why Olivia and I are running tonight, the reason why I'm here, is because we want to create an environment where all those quotes that were said above don't have to happen in anonymous, private conversations. There's still students here who don't feel comfortable talking about stigmatized issues. Most of us, Olivia and I. And for us, it's really about opening up Boston College to conversation. Because we believe that the most meaningful way to create change is to start a dialogue and then move forward on that.
So our vision is to bring UGBC back to basics. Keep it simple. We really want to work with you, but also for you. We want to do this by focusing on the issues that you all care about, such as securing free speech on campus, getting buses to the Chestnut Hill Mall, creating a campus-wide pledge against sexual assault, redoing the conduct system, enhancing the academic advising, especially in A&S for freshmen. Overall, we want to enhance your BC experience.
back to basics is more than just our slogan, it's our philosophy. The issues can be complicated, but the answer is quite simple when you look at it. We need to work with the student body in everything that we do, because at the end of the day, the seat at the table isn't for UGBC, it's for all of you. And by taking ownership of our experience, of our identity, and finding out what BC means for all of us, we can make BET great.
So just going on tonight, I think we're planning on doing it. We're going to release our platform, and it will be the most comprehensive platform ever written. Our current draft stands at 37 pages.
We have a short version.
I apologize. We're creating a short document that's only 4 pages, but that's because we included year-long action plans for every single point of how Olivia and I plan on accomplishing that goal. So if you're ready for Napoli Hussey administration and bringing our vision, then we're super excited to be here tonight. Thank you all.
Okay, so we're gonna start passing out the straw poll, which you can fill out. We're gonna collect at the very end, but we're still gonna play one more game. Just gonna hopefully get a little time for him to come back.
Alright, so this game, and for now while we wait for Jose to come back, James, you can use, if you want, you can use your campaign manager or somebody in your team that you're closest to. But I don't know, we did this game last year, we don't know if students are familiar with the Newlywed game. So we want the team to show you guys how well they know each other if they're going to be running as a team. So we're going to have to come back on stage and sit back to back. So you guys want to do that one.